Welcome back to my channel. This is Jacqueline Edwards, and as always, I am delighted you are here. And I'm very excited to be able to bring these messages to you that has truly changed, transformed my life. And I pray that these little seeds I will sow into your heart and that you will ponder on them, and your life will in turn be a blessing. So thank you so much for watching. Now, let's jump into this week's topic where I will be continuing the conversation around the blessing of the Lord. That in Genesis, he says, I bless you to be fruitful, to multiply and replenish the earth. And I've been staying in the arena of the blessing to be fruitful because there's so much to extract from that. That fruitfulness is fully loaded. So that's why I'm kind of camping around this area for a while. So just stick in there with me. So in this week, I want to talk about the secrets to walking in confidence no matter where you are, right? When God comes in our lives, he don't come in our life for us to stay stagnant, to stay at one place, but he come in our lives and he take us from one level to the next. He comes in and take us from one level to the next. And sometimes when God comes in our lives and say, hey, I met you here, but I'm going to show you where I'm taking you. It's like, oh my God, how can this thing be? Like Mary said, right? How can this thing happen? Or sometimes he'll lead us and we don't even know where he's taking us, right? But it really calls for obedience. We have to be obedient to the Spirit. So in this saying now, where God wants us to be confident, in the Bible it said, don't cast away your confidence. Don't cast away your confidence. You need to know who you are. You need to know your attributes, your characteristics, and so you can be aware and conscious of these things, right? So, I don't know if you're anything like me, but if you've been following my videos, you will kind of get the idea that I have been through a lot. I have been through a lot. So when I come to Christ, I am so broken, and the Lord is just really taking me by the hand and really speaking to me and really guiding me and taking me into places and spaces that I never even dreamed of. And doing that and walking with the Lord, I will tell you, I experienced a very high level of anxiety. I have felt I felt like I don't belong. I feel like, why am I even here? I don't belong here. I'm not good enough to be in these places and spaces with these phenomenal people. Why am I here? But it wasn't until I was in university. And if you remember my previous video, I said the Lord spoke to me and told me to go back to university. And this is in 2018. It was never my idea. So when I went ahead and I filled out the application and I was accepted, that whole 4 years I was walking on campus and I feel like it wasn't real. I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like it was only a matter of time for somebody to say to me, this is all a fluke. It is not real. You're not here on campus. That's how it was, just like night and day for me. So anyway, it was in my very last semester. I was taking a counseling class, and in that class I was paired with another student and we had to do mock counseling sessions. And I was just telling her, I said, I don't feel like this is real. I feel like I'm a ghost walking around campus. Like, I'm doing the work. I'm obviously doing the work. I'm doing well in my courses and things, but it still don't feel real. And she said to me, it sounds like you're dealing with imposter syndrome. And when she said that to me, I know I've heard the word before, but I fully didn't understand what imposter syndrome was. And so that night I went home and I was just really meditating on it. And I was like, Lord, what is this imposter syndrome? And so the Lord said to me, in psychology, they name it imposter syndrome when you feel like you don't belong, you feel like you're not worthy, you don't belong in certain spaces. And so we have like a lot of professional people who are doing different things, but it doesn't feel real. Like they have not fully embodied what they're doing and walking out in confidence. And so the Lord said to me, in psychology, they call it imposter syndrome, But in my Christianity, in me, it is called a miracle. What you are experiencing is a miracle. That I have taken you out of your natural element and I've just spoke to you, you obeyed me, and now you're in it. But you have not fully come to understand the miracle that has happened to you. And so that was a really big deal to just really come into the understanding of God's miracle, that He wants to take us from one place, from one level to the next. But if we're not fully aware of these miracles, that we would work with a level of stress, of anxiety, of just feeling like unworthy, feeling like we don't belong and we want to give up. But I'm going to tell you how the Lord has revealed to me how I can go into those spaces and those places with a level of confidence. With a level of confidence. If you've been following with me, you've been hearing me talking a whole lot about the seed, the tree, and the fruit. The seed, the tree, and the fruit. That if the Lord said, I bless you to be fruitful, I first had to ask myself, well, if I'm going to be fruitful, then I have to see myself as a tree. If I see myself as a tree, I have to see myself as a seed. And it's in these seeds, the Lord have placed everything I need. So I did not come to the earth empty. I came to this earth fully loaded with potential, with so many things that God has placed in me. But you and I know that sometimes trauma can mess up with our confidence and make us question ourselves, right? And so sometimes, we're able to get along in life, we're able to make progress in life, but we're still dealing with self-confidence. We're still dealing with low self-esteem. And the Lord is saying, whenever you're in these areas, whether it's in school, whether it's in church, no matter who you're dealing with, is to first see yourself as a seed. To see yourself as a seed in the midst of trees. And in taking on that posture, we take on a posture of humility. We take on a posture of just being humble and just being able to absorb information, right? Imagine that with me for a second. Just seeing yourself as only a seed in the midst of trees, in the midst of forests. Is to see people as well developed, no matter who they are. Just see people as well developed. Like, say, for example, you're in a conference room and you're overwhelmed with all these great speakers or all these amazing people. What if you saw them as a tree? And what if you saw yourself as only a seed? How much you will learn, how much you can absorb, And in those spaces and places, the humility to say, I don't know, tell me. I need to find out more. In that posture, your heart is more open to receive. In that posture, your heart is open to retain, right? And so now, as we're walking with God, as we're taking our time and journey with God, that we can continue to show up in these spaces. And yes, we will still deal with anxiety. We will still deal with it. But at least we know that this is a miracle from God, that in the end, God will get the glory. At least we know that the more we keep showing up, these trees and these forests, that our seeds will be fertilized in the environment, that over a period of time, you keep showing up, over a time, you will too grow, you will too become a tree, and you will become your fruit. You understand? Oh, this is so amazing. I hope you get it. No matter where you are, is to first see yourself as a seed, to have that level of humility, to know that if God led you there, He will be with you. If God led you there, He will be with you. He promised to never leave you nor forsake you. But we have to have that level of consciousness and awareness that this is something new God is doing in my life. I need to be here to become. I need to be here to become. There's something that God is doing with my life, and I need to be here. There's something that is happening within me. I know I'm feeling anxiety. I know I'm feeling like I don't belong here, but I'm going to keep showing up because eventually I will become. I will become. So I just hope that you will stop to think about that. The next time you're in the midst of trees, the next time you're around an environment where people just seem like they got it and they know it, and you're feeling like, oh my God, I will never become that. Yes, you will. Keep showing up. Let God get the glory out of your life. Let God do a new thing in your life. Let God do it. Let God do it. And I want to say this last thing. Whenever we become Christians and we start walking with Christ, He takes us from one level, level. And sometimes not even our family know what God has deposited in us. Nobody really know where God is taking us, right? So it becomes a personal journey with you and God. And so, we just have to be humble. We have to be patient. We have to be very patient. We have to be obedient to go in these places and spaces where God is leading you, because there's something He wants for you to get. There's some steps He wanted to accomplish to help you become all that He has created and designed you and I to be. So to wrap things up, I hope that you remember, you're only a seed. Every room you go in, take on the posture of a seed. Take on the posture of a seed. Because if you continue to show up, sooner than later, you will become all that God has created you to be. So I pray that this message bless you. I pray that it will be a blessing to you. And I pray that you will ponder and think about it this week. Until next time, take good care. Bye-bye.